Hi there, Mystery Baker here, and welcome to Fondant Friday. As mentioned on Wednesday, I listed all the basic materials that you'd need to make this beautiful unicorn. And I hope you're all sat comfortably, either with a cup of coffee or your favourite beverage, all ready to rumble. I've got here my colours, my powders, a few little bits, and I've obviously got my white fondant because we're starting off with the white fondant, so if you can get that ready. As I may have mentioned before, I've never made a unicorn before. So this is a first too. So if you're making a unicorn for the first time, join me, because I am too. So we can learn together, see? So I have a vision in my mind of how a unicorn would look in a fondant kind of cute way. Okay, so I have a little bit of fondant here, and I've placed some Tylo CMC powder in it, not too much but enough to, you know, give it the, I suppose, feeling of modelling clay, or as close to it. It will dry hard. And the great thing about fondant, as we know, that once you've made your model, if you cover it and put it away, you can use it later. It has a long expiry date, so if you make it today, for example, it will last, well, definitely 3 months, but it could last up to a year. I mean, come on. I mean, I don't know if I would eat it, but what I'm saying is, you know, you can make things in advance, so don't be shy or afraid of making something up in advance. So even if you're not making a unicorn cake today, you can still make this, put it away, as long as it's kept cool. Not in the fridge, but as long as it's kept cool. So what I'm doing is I'm just warming the fondant up in my hands. I use the ball kind of my hands, and that just warms it up. It smooths out any creasing and things like that too. Now I'm not going to make a huge model today because I have a tendency for my own personal use make quite large models, but this is just going to be kind of a medium sized, but you can make your fondant unicorn as big or as small as you want. So we're going to make the body, okay, and this is pretty easy. So smoothing it round, okay, and we're going to find the end with your finger. We're going to make the neck, okay, so we start rolling. You can do this in your hand. I'm going to do it in my hand so it's a little bit higher up for you to see, and we're just rolling. I turn it upside down. He's going to have a little bit of a fat tummy because he's small, sorry, or she. I want him to have a little bit of a tummy, so it's almost puppy-like. A puppy version of a unicorn, if that's actually possible. And as I get to the neck, I'm wanting to elongate that ever so slightly, rolling it in my hand. Almost cone shape now, and then with your fingers just smooth it in a very light motion, very light. If you make a mistake, what have I said? Don't worry, roll it back up and start again. And the reason why I elongate the neck is because gravity takes hold, and as it dries it will push down. And also I'm going to be placing toothpick cocktail stick as the support for the head, and you could use, if you don't have any of these, you could use spaghetti, you know, dried spaghetti, just as good, and I suppose that is edible. Oh, I've just marked his tummy there. So what you do to this stage anyway is you get a little bit of water or glue. I'm using edible glue here, and I gently, not over gluing, wet that end, and with the wet end, find the center and push down. Okay, and that is the beginning of your beautiful unicorn. Now I'm going to let that dry, and you should too. So at this stage, if you haven't got a coffee, go get one, because that's what I'm doing. And when we come back, we're going to do the legs. Now the reason we do the legs next is because the legs will hide in that neck portion there, so it looks like it's coming from there. If you start the legs there, they look a little bit odd, so I kind of elongate them. And as I said, just leave this a little while, not forever, 5 minutes will do. It's just for the Tylose CMC powder to take hold, and it will start to dry. Okay, now at this stage you could add some rainbow dust or glitter to your unicorn. I'm sorry about that squeaking. Oh dear, that's my dog Lily, and she's found her favourite toy. Oh boy, never mind. On that note, I'm going to leave and find out where she is, because I think she's hiding under the table. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. Had a cup of coffee, or a few sips anyway, and I'm going to start on the legs. So I've got a ball of fondant, and how I try to explain how to get 2 equal sized portions of fondant for the legs is I kind of roll it into a sausage. It doesn't have to be perfect, and then with your eye kind of find the center and cut down, and that way you kind of get an even, it's not exact, but it's even. And if you hear growling now, the joys of having 2 dogs. We have our neighbours next door moving today, and they're in the garden obviously collecting their stuff, and they're making a little bit of a noise, and Lily does not like it. So we're going to do the legs. So we'll start with this one. Okay, I'll do it on here this time. Maybe with it being a black background you can see better. So we're going to make the unicorn's legs. Now these ones, so what you do is you start rolling. Single finger, single pressure. Okay, and then roll up from that end like so. Are you happy with that? Yeah. And as we approach upwards, we're going to thinnen that out. So here I go. It's a little bit more awkward doing it on here because it's rolling around. But as you can see, there's the shape. Okay, and I'm just going to measure that a little bit more. So again, rather than disturbing the bottom, because I'm happy with that size, I want to disturb the end part, and I'm just elongating. And because you've had the CMC and Tylose powder, it's a little bit easier to work with. Okay, and once I'm happy with that, which I am, I will place down. So off camera, I'm going to repeat the process. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with a vengeance. I've done the other leg, and they're round about the same size. Don't beat yourself up. This is not a test. And with some edible glue, we're going to place them down. So I want these 2 legs kind of close together. So rather than adding the glue to the leg, I'm adding it to the body, because if you put glue on there and then you're lifting it up, you're going to get residue, and that residue isn't pleasant, because then you transfer it onto everything, and you can even get fluff on your hands, even off your clothing. So I'm going to place them on, and I want these 2 to be sat together, so I'm smoothing that down ever so slightly, and you can use your finger, light pressure, And then with the other, I add the other leg, and again, light pressure, not too much pressure. Okay, just moving it ever slightly there, and I'm wanting the legs together like so, and they're hidden there now, and the head will hide the legs, but as you can see, the two legs are now together, and I'm going to start the head. So you'll need some fondant. How I size it is I get a piece of fondant and I size it like that. Now I'm going to use a little bit extra, but you get me, okay? I want a little bit bigger, so you want it kind of relative to the body. All right, you don't want it too big, but at the same time you don't want it too small, and I find that that's far too small. So I'm going to get a little bit more fondant, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got some more fondant here. So a kind of relative, just added a little bit more, and again it's had some CMC tiles powder added to it, so we're ready to start now. Okay, as I say, this is the first time I've made a unicorn, so I'm kind of just blagging it, but we'll see. Okay, this is live coming at you. I know you're watching it probably a day before I made it, but I don't do edits in that sense. I don't do reruns. So if I make a mistake, I apologize. All right. Alrighty. So I've made my ball for the head. And in my head, yeah, you need to create the snout. Now you could add the snout separate, but I want to make it from the one piece of fondant. All right, to make it easier for you. And this is how I would do it. So we want the head part where you'll put the eyes, but this section, you know, where we make the snout. Sorry. So with one finger, towards the end, we're going to roll it. Okay, just roll that end. Can you see? Can you see, hopefully? And we're creating that baby snout. And when I say baby, I don't want it. I want it to look like a cute baby unicorn rather than an adult one. All right. Okay. All right. So you understand how pretty that looks? And as I say, if you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. Trust me, it's not. I'm quite happy with that. Some people might not be thinking, what the heck is that? But I'm just trying to find a ball tool. Just bear with me. I'm going to place this down actually while I'm searching through my tools. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to do it on here, because whoa, oh, the heck is that? Never mind, it's something. I'll have to take it off because I don't like it. It looks like dust, black dust. Dear goodness. But you see, can you see? Now I want a ball tool, so I probably don't want it as big as that ball tool, but hey, you don't need a ball tool. A toothpick would do, but as this is a tutorial and I want it to look okay, I'm going to use this. Now I'm not looking onto it, so you're seeing it but I'm not. And I'm going to place 2 holes relatively evenly in there like that for the snout. I've just pulled it out ever so slightly. Now the thing is, when you make holes, make them a little bit bigger than you would normally, because as I say, gravity will close them ever so slightly. Okay, now for her eyes, I'm going to make them small. I don't know why I think they should be small, but yeah, I might do that once they're on the head, so once they're on the body, sorry. So I'm going to get some glue and we'll assemble. Alright, we'll assemble it and we'll place it down. I'll just face it towards me so I can just check the shape. Oh, I'm really disappointed that it's got something on there, but I'll wait till that dries off a little and then I'll scratch it off. Okay, now I always kind of put the head off center. I don't put it straight. I always kind of tilt. I think it looks better. It looks more animated, is that the word? So with a ball tool or a cocktail stick, it doesn't have to be a tool that you have in your craft box. You can, you know, use your imagination. I'm going to place 2 eyes, and again I'm not making them too big. I'm not making them too big in size. But you make them as big as you want. Okay, I don't know if that's picking up, but we've got 2 eyes, 2 little nostrils, and I'm going to leave that to dry, and you should too, before you start tampering with it, because we need to put the ears on, we need to put the eyes in. Now, while I'm here, I'll show you how you can use a cocktail stick. I'm going to make some indentations like eyelashes on the side of the eye, so with the pointy end, just do that. 2 little crosses. I'll do the other one here. And it just adds some life. And again, if it alters the shape of the eye, put your ball tool back in and recreate. Alright, so I'm going to leave that to dry for a good 10 minutes. The longer you leave it, probably the better. And when we come back, I'll be putting the bottom legs on and the ears. So I'll be right back. Okay, time for the back legs and the ears. So we'll start with the back legs. So again, I've got some fondant. Okay, and again, my dog wants to play. She's so cute, Lily, sometimes. All right, okay. Daisy just likes to lay and sleep and eat. So we have 2 contrasting personalities. The 2 Bijons, and they're so cute. I've actually done a tutorial how to make a fondant Bijon if you wanted to check it out. All right, but it's time for the legs. I hope you're following this with me. There's again a little bit of residue. It must be off here because it's not off my hands. So again, we're going to find the center. Now they're wanting to play fight. Oh my goodness. I should have had something stronger than coffee. Right. So again, judge with your eye and down. And that roundabout gets them in a central, round about the same size. They don't have to be perfect. Okay, now the back legs have to be slightly different to the front because I want to see the bottom of the feet in order for us to put the little hooves on, because we want to paint them gold. I like the idea of them being gold. So right, are we ready? First leg. I'll move you out the way, unicorn. Move that there. So again, nice smooth ball. All right, now this one, rather than going at the end and rolling or that end and rolling, we want to be kind of in the center. So we roll from the center with our finger, light pressure, light pressure. Okay, can you see? Okay, and then towards the end, we push it a little bit more towards that end. Okay, can you see that? All right, hope that's showing. A little bit more into the center again, just to thinning it out, like so. And then I'm going to turn it so you can see, and then we push that ever so slightly up, so it almost looks like a bugle horn. That's my, and then with your finger press that down. That's my explanation. Okay, and we press that down and we rub at the base to smoothen that edge. Okay. Okay, can you see? I hope this is a good way of showing you how to do the back leg. All right, and then with some edible glue or water, place some on that side of your unicorn. Okay, and then pick that up ever so gently, ever so gently. And then when you're happy, just place it on like that. See? Ever so gently, like that. So we've got the back leg on. I'm just going to move that out slightly so I can get the hoof. When I do put the hoof on, I'll be able to get that on there. So that's that, and then you duplicate the same process on the opposite side, and I'll let you do that in your own time. So when I come back, I'll have done and completed that section, and then we'll be doing the ears. Back in a bit. Okay, we're going to do the ears now. So you can do this any way you want. This is how I'm going to do it. So I'm just going to get some icing sugar. Not a lot, you don't need a lot. I've found that less is more. And I'm just going to roll this now, thinly. Get down, Lily. Get. My dog's on my table. Get down. She takes no notice. She is so... She just wants to be with me. This is what it is. She just wants to be with Mama. So I don't know if your dogs are the same. Okay, and with a circle cutter, or you can use anything circular. It doesn't have to be a cutter, you know. I'm just going to make 2 circles. Woo! Rocket science! All right. And then, just lifting them. And then I'm going to, not half them, but almost half. Just take the edge off. Just taking the edge off. Oh, how cute! And then with the ball tool, I'm just going to move that out of the way. Move that. I'm just pressing, I'm making that thinner. That's all I'm doing. I'm just pressing. So the inner ear, that's what I'm making, the inner ear. You are so much trouble, girl. Excuse me. I'm getting over a cold. So, can you see? And then we're folding that in. Folding it. And then just slightly nipping at that end and placing it down. Again. Show you. It's so difficult to show you. So we're nipping that in. Nipping it in. Ugh. And then nipping it at the top. Can you see? I hope it's picking up. And they're going to be the ears for our unicorn. They're still a bit soft, those. So, a little bit of edible glue. Look at it straight on. Find out where you would like them. And now they're fighting, well, play fighting, they don't fight, but and then I'm going to place this on, like so, where I'm happy. Okay, and do the same with the other side. My dogs have never been this naughty on camera for a long, long time, I have to say. And as you can see, the little ears are on, because I think they're just showing off on the camera, you see. They know I'm filming. They know I'm filming. And you can move them around any way you want. So when I come back, we're going to start putting the unicorn hair on, and I'll have inserted some black circles into those holes to make eyes. So I'll have done that off camera, but I'm sure you know how to do that. You place a little bit of glue and place the black inside. And when I come back, we're going to start the hair, or the mane, or whatever you call it, on a unicorn. The horn, now, I have to show you how to, actually, when I come back, I've put the eyes in, I'm going to show you how to make the horn, because the horn may need a little bit of time to dry, and you'll understand what I mean when I come back. So, back in a bit. We're going to make the unicorn horn, and I've done it in yellow, because if you apply gold to white, it'll take several coats, whereas if you add it to a yellow colour, it doesn't take as many. It might only just need one. So I've got some yellow fondant, place it down, and we're going to start rolling into a sausage, which is basically most of my techniques. Roll it into a sausage. Roll it into a sausage. How do I do that? Oh, you just roll it into a sausage. Okay, so I'm rolling this out into a sausage shape. Move relatively quickly, simply because the fondant, as you thin it out, because it's got CMC inside it, once you start thinning it out, it does start to harden as you roll, which is a bit of a sad thing, but it's true. I probably don't want that length, so I know I won't need that length. So I'm going to just chop that off and keep on rolling. And what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to get a thin end, but what I'll do is I'll just do it on my hand, just to get it ever so slightly. So once you've got your shape, we're going to just make a swirl. All right, so you bring it in on itself, almost like an ice cream. And that's how I'm going to do my horn. Can you see? And what I would do is just let that dry. So just let that dry. There's a little bit of excess at the back, and we'll just trim that off and let that dry off a little. You don't really want that to be put on just yet while it's soft, if you understand. So, right. Now that's drying, I'm going to come back. I'll have placed the eyes in. We're going to assemble the horn, and we're going to start the hair. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. What I've done is, off camera, I've put some black eyes in, as you know. I've put the fondant unicorn horn on. And I've painted it with gold, one coat. I've put some hooves on and I've painted them gold. I've put a little bit of blush because she's blushing. And I've started the back of the hair, okay, to speed things up, because we could be here all day, ladies and gentlemen. So I've got my fondant here, and we're going to create the hair for the front and the sides and things like that. Now I can't see it that side, so I'm going to start at this side, and hope that you can see too. Okay, so I've got my colours that I'm using. So I'm going to go in order. So I'm going to do pink, blue, lemon and lavender. And that's the way. So we get a little bit of the fondant and roll it into a ball, and then we're just making, okay, just basically making a sausage shape but thinner at one end. Okay, thinner at one end. Okay, so done that one, and we will begin. And because I'm going to place that here, I'm going to make it in between the ear and the horn. I'm actually going to thinnen the other end up too, so that it sits inside. So with a tiny bit of water or glue, just going to place some in there like that so it adheres at first. So placing that in. If you need any help, this particular tool is quite good, because you can touch it in crevices and places that you can't normally get into with your fingers. Okay, and I'm going to, with this one, push it around. So with some, this is just where your creativity kicks in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You don't have to do anything like this. I'm pushing it around. I think I've got some paint on me for some reason. Whoops, and I'm kind of twisting it. And you can do all the twists and twirls you want. I'm trying to make it look like it's flowing hair. Flowing hair. Okay, and you can twist that any which way you want. Okay. And you just keep going. Okay, I'm going to use some blue next. Not as much, maybe a little bit less than that. I'm going to do the same principle into a ball, roll it into a sausage shape, and for this again I'm going to have to make it thin at both sides. Okay, and that way I can get into smaller spaces, a little bit around there so it adheres, and again place that in, and you can just shape it as you would. It doesn't have to be amazing. What I like to do is I like to make it almost touch the other one. So curling that. But you see where I'm going with this. And then you would do the same on the other side. I'm going to continue just twirling my fondant onwards and upwards until I'm happy, and you would do the same. So rather than me bore you going all the way around, boring, I'm going to come back when it's done. I'll be right back. Okay, I've come back in just quickly. I've been doing the back of the hair and I'm approaching the front. I'm almost finished. I just wanted to show you how to make like maybe a fancy fringe. Okay, so I've got some pink fondant here, and just going to put a little bit off and make it into a small ball, and then thinning it out like so. Okay, like that. And then because I'm wanting it to fit in around the side, I need to cut it thinner at that end. So very quickly, I'll just show you. Okay, cut a little bit off. I hope that's enough. So with my bit of edible glue, stick that in there, and then hopefully that will fit in without much trouble. Double trouble. It has. So I'm just going to okay, now that's down, and then with this section I'm just going to play. Oh, it's come off. Fix that down again. Fix that down. I mean, you could leave it like that, but I want to swirl it. So with this tool, I'm going to just use it to mold. So I'm going to, oh, it's come off there. So it's sticking very well at that side. Ah, that's better. All right, so I've got it there. And then what you can do is, if you move pretty quickly, you can mold it to the shape you want. So it's going around the hair, like so. And then a little bit of glue just to fix it. Don't worry too much. So, sorry, my hand's in the way. And you can curl it as you want. And it's just giving it kind of like a little bit of a fringe. But as I say, use your own imagination of how you would do it. It doesn't exactly have to be like that. So that's the unicorn. Let's see if I can lift. Now you can add glitter, which I will off camera, but I'll add glitter to the hair, and I'll probably add a little bit of sparkle, do another coat on the hooves of the gull just to make it stand out and pop. But that's the unicorn, beginner's style. I hope you've liked it. I hope you like my tutorials. I've put a little bit of blush on, and I use just very quickly, I just use some powder, and with a soft brush I just brush some on. You don't have to, I just did. But as you can see, it's quite effective. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. It is for beginners. This is not advanced or anything like that. It's just showing you how to make a pretty topper. I'm going to use the same colours for the tail, but you get my drift. You know how it goes. Thanks for your time. Subscribe and like if you wish. Make a few comments if you want, you know, if you thought it was any good. And you'll see me next Wednesday for my next What You Need Wednesday, and that will be for my next tutorial, details of which will be coming up very soon. Thanks for your time. Bye.